Some condos in Vancouver look like a great deal on paper, but behind the walls are problems that can cost you tens of thousands of dollars, ruin your resale value, and leave you stuck with a unit that costs you money every single month. And here's the thing, most buyers don't even realize they've stepped into a trap until it's way too late. And that's why in this video, I'm breaking down the 7 biggest condo traps you need to avoid right now. By the end, you'll know exactly what to watch out for and where the real opportunities are in Vancouver's condo market. I'm Shahrad Sardari, a local Vancouver realtor helping buyers and sellers navigate the market by providing all the information needed to make informed, stress-free decisions. Let's jump right in. Older condos can be tempting. You get more square footage for your money, the price per square foot looks attractive compared to new builds, and that extra space feels like a win. But here's the catch. Condos are shared living environments, and if the building hasn't been maintained properly, small issues pile up quickly. This is where the Contingency Reserve Fund, or CRF, comes in. Think of the CRF as the building's savings account. Every month, part of your strata fees gets set aside in the fund, and the money is used for major repairs or replacements. Things like roofs, windows, plumbing, or elevators. If the CRF is strong, it means the strata has been saving responsibly and is ready for future expenses. If the CRF is weak, that's a red flag, because when the money runs out, owners get hit with what's called a special levy. This is a one-time bill that the strata charges all owners when there isn't enough money saved to cover major repair. They divide the money among everyone, and your share could easily be thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Now, one of the easiest warning signs of a weak CRF is abnormally low strata fees. Buyers often see low fees as a positive, and I get it. Why not save money when you can? But it usually means the strata is cutting corners, and that's the difference between a proactive strata and a reactive strata. A proactive strata charges realistic fees, builds up reserves, and handles problems before they snowball. A reactive strata keeps fees artificially low to make things look good on paper, but then blindsides owners with a massive bill when repairs can't be delayed anymore. And the older the building, the more important this becomes. A 25-year-old condo with its original roof and plumbing, but only a small CRF is basically a financial time bomb. And I've seen it happen. Owners suddenly hit with $20, $40, even $80,000 bills out of nowhere. A recent example is one of my clients who wanted to buy a condo near Edmund Station in Burnaby. We saw every unit that was up for sale in the location he was interested in, and we found the perfect one. It was fully renovated, had an amazing floor plan, and was on a high floor. He told me that he wants to write an offer, but after reviewing the strata documents, there was only $350,000 in the CRF. And more importantly, we saw that there were 2 major repairs coming up in the next 3 years that would cost a couple $1 million in total. That would mean if he had bought the unit, he would have to pay $46,000 out of pocket within a few years of owning his home. That is why we walked away to ensure we stay clear of a financial disaster. So don't just look at the price tag on the unit, look at the CRF. Look at the strata fees and make sure you're buying into a proactive building and not a reactive one. Now let's talk about amenities. Pools, gyms, hot tubs, and anything else. They sound amazing, they look great on the brochure, and when you're standing in the lobby, it feels like you're buying into luxury. But here's the truth. Every single one of those amenities costs money to maintain. And if you're not using them every week, you're just paying higher strata fees for other people's lifestyle. I see this all the time in downtown and Brentwood Towers. They've got every amenity under the sun, but every year the strata fees climb just to keep everything running. Now compare that to stratas in East Vancouver or Mount Pleasant. They often skip the extras and their fees are lower. And so the money that they do collect goes into actual building upkeep. Personally, I'd rather save the extra fees and spend them at a gym or a studio that I will actually go to, which is usually better than anything you'd get in a building anyway. Before we move on to the next one, if you want to avoid costly mistakes without losing sleep over them, hit subscribe so you're always in the know. And if you want personalized help, book a call with me in the link in the description or use the information on screen. One of the most common traps is the floor plan. Buyers fall in love with the location or the finishes and they forget to ask, does this layout even make sense? Bad layouts are painful to live in and they're even harder to resell. Take narrow, bowling alley style units with only one wall of windows. They feel dark, cramped, and claustrophobic, especially during Vancouver's rainy months. You might not notice it when you tour on a sunny afternoon, but try living through one of those in November. Then there are angled or curved walls. On paper, they look stylish. In real life, they waste square footage and make it nearly impossible to set up furniture. Try fitting a couch or dining table against a curved wall. It never works. And don't forget about long hallways. A hallway might not sound like a big deal, but it's wasted space. If 5% of a 600 square foot condo is hallway, that's 30 square feet you're paying for but can't actually use. And when it comes to resell, buyers will notice and they'll pay less. Another trap most buyers don't think about are elevators. If you're in a 30-floor tower with only 2 elevators, daily life quickly becomes frustrating. Trying to go to work in the morning, you're waiting. Weekend move-ins, you're waiting. Need to walk your dog, you're still waiting. I've seen this firsthand in Brentwood and Metrotown towers. Owners get fed up with the long waits that they eventually sell, even if they love the unit itself. The rule is simple. The taller the building, the more elevators you need. In a true high-rise, 3 elevators should be the absolute minimum, and the more, the better. And then there's parking. Not having parking might not seem like a big deal, especially if you don't drive, but when it comes to sell, most buyers almost always want at least 1 and often 2 stalls. If your unit doesn't come with it, your buyer pool shrinks immediately. Parking is also about the future. EV-ready stalls are already commanding premiums, and that trend is only going to get stronger. And here's something most people don't think about: where the stall is located. A tight corner spot or one right by the busy entrance might not seem like a big deal during a showing, but live with it every day and it becomes a major frustration. I had a seller who came to me recently who wanted to sell his home in one of the newer buildings in Coquitlam. He had bought the unit when he didn't own a car and he hadn't paid much attention to the parking stall. But after he switched jobs, he was forced to start driving, and having to spiral down 5 stories just to park his car multiple times a day was enough to make him want to sell. So don't underestimate the parking. It's not just about convenience and your quality of life, it's also about resale value. Let's shift to the rules that come with condo living. Every building has bylaws, but some go way too far. I've seen no pet policies, breed restrictions, rules banning barbecues, and even buildings that don't allow AC in condos that roast every summer. I've even seen restrictions on what kind of decoration you can have on your balcony. These rules don't just affect your lifestyle by limiting your options, they also affect your resale since it reduces the pool of potential buyers. If a future buyer has a dog, or they want AC, or they love to barbecue, they'll cross off your list without even considering it. So before you buy, read the bylaws, make sure you know what you're agreeing to, because once you're in, those rules are not negotiable. And finally, views and exposures. Paying a premium for a view feels amazing, but it can also be a gamble. In Burnaby, Coquitlam, and Surrey, new towers are going up constantly. That unobstructed mountain or water view you're paying extra for today might be gone in 2 years. And once the view is gone, so is the premium you paid for it. Exposure matters too. North-facing units are dark most of the year. Units next to train tracks, SkyTrain lines, or busy roads are noisy, stressful, and hard to sell. So if you're paying for a view, do your homework, check the zoning and community plans, know what could be built in the next 5 to 10 years. Otherwise, you could be paying today for something that won't exist tomorrow. This is not a small purchase. It's the perfect time to make sure you're getting a home that you like to live in and has great resale value for when the day arrives that you want to move out. So how do you make sure you don't fall into one of these traps? Here's a checklist. Review strata documents and depreciation reports. Check the CRF balance and what's already been replaced. Verify your parking stall and where it's located, and research zoning and future developments nearby. If your current support system has not warned you about these and you want to make sure you're buying the best possible condo at the best possible price, then book a call with me using the link in the description or the QR code on screen. Otherwise, you can call or text me directly using the phone number on the screen and in the description.